Over the last decade, I've opened literally dozens of bank accounts in something like 20 different countries, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of banking overseas. But I think a lot of people don't understand the benefits of actually having cold, hard cash in bank accounts around the world. So even if you're a gold investor or a cryptocurrency investor, I'm going to share with you some of the best reasons for a nomad capitalist to have multiple bank accounts around the world. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs legally go where they're treated best, from lower taxes offshoring your business, second passports to have more options and to protect yourself, investments in new boom markets to earn higher returns. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. Let's talk about bank accounts. And one thing that I think when people come to me and we talk about bank accounts, if you live in your home country, and you haven't really done a lot of stuff internationally, you may not give much thought to your local bank account. But one thing that I've seen personally is whenever you want to do stuff internationally, it seems that having a good bank statement, having a good bank reference letter, having the semblance of a good banking infrastructure is important. For example, I've had people who wanted to go and live in a certain country, but they didn't have enough money in the bank for 6 or 12 months of statements to prove to the immigration officer or to prove to someone at the embassy that they qualified for the residence permit because their money was sitting in cryptocurrency, their money was sitting in a brokerage account. Understand this, when you're going overseas, bureaucrats like to keep things simple. They like to see money in bank accounts, and perhaps they want to see money in a certain country's bank account, depending on what you're doing. So I think, being diversified is a good first step to go and do other things. One of the things that people overlook when it comes to the benefits of having other bank accounts is you can actually use bank accounts alone to get residence or citizenship in another country. So for example, in Turkey, put $500,000 in the bank, lock it up for 3 years, you get citizenship in a matter of months. In countries like Portugal, Latvia, Thailand, Panama, putting money in the bank at least gets you a residence permit and sometimes puts you on a path to citizenship. So you're merely moving liquidity from one country to another, and in return you can get immigration privileges. Okay, so once you're doing that, once you understand all the different options you can get just from putting money in the bank, you can also use that to basically diversify your assets for the bank itself. Now, beyond the nomad capitalist, immigration benefits, let's talk about the actual benefits of just having bank accounts around the world. And I think diversification is a great thing. Now, I'm for diversification across all asset classes, and I know a lot of people who own gold, who own silver, who own cryptocurrency want to keep their bank account balances relatively low. They want their money working for them. Real estate investors too. I think keeping money in different countries' banks certainly gives you asset protection. If you have any number of issues come up, having your money in another country makes it harder for someone to come and take. You can also diversify your money into different currencies. And so if you're in US dollars and you think the US dollar is going down and you want to preserve your purchasing power, maybe to buy real estate or to buy other assets or just to go overseas and explore your options, maybe make investments in the future, you can open foreign bank accounts. And while in the United States, for example, you're going to be hard pressed to find many banks that offer multi-currency accounts, pretty much everywhere else in the world, it's relatively standard. In some accounts, like in Singapore, even countries like Mongolia, you can have 10, 12, 15 different currencies in there, and you can move back and forth. I'm not suggesting that you use it as a currency trading platform, but you can start to build up money. You can even use services like TransferWise to build up balances in other currencies as you prepare to make investments in other countries. With that comes the potential for higher interest rates. Certain currencies earn higher interest rates. The Armenian dram has been one relatively stable currency over the last 5 or 6 years against the US dollar, yet the interest rate is nearly double digits. Countries like Ecuador and Cambodia deal in US dollars, yet they pay interest rates that are anywhere from 4 to 6% right now. And so higher interest rates, diversification, having your money out of just one basket are all benefits of banking overseas. Other advantages are the ability to more easily make investments overseas. One thing is certain people may want to see your money coming from a certain country. You know, some investments, they don't want your money coming from the United States. Now, I'm not talking about investments where, you know, U.S. citizens are banned. I wouldn't suggest you lie to anybody, but, you know, certain banks, certain investments, certain whatever may not want your money coming from a certain country, or there may be advantages to it coming from a different country, or, you know, they may have, if there's certain investments online, there's certain peer-to-peer lending platforms, for example, where you need a European Union bank account, you need an account within the single payments area, the SEPA, right? And so there's certain investments you just can't take part in unless you are banking, for example, in the EU, or you're banking somewhere else. Other investments, you know, they don't want you to use services like TransferWise to send your money, so you need a local bank account. If it's in Malaysia, they want the money to come from your bank account in Malaysia. And so if you're going to make that investment, you would need to have the local bank account there. Another reason to do that is not only do some investments need you to have a foreign bank account to facilitate the investment, but if you're going to be investing in some of the interesting places we talk about, your particular bank may not really understand that, and it may cause you problems. So I've talked before, for example, about, let's say you want to buy real estate in Egypt. It's incredibly cheap in some areas right now. But if you go to your bank in the US and you say, I'm going to send money to Egypt, they're probably going to look at you pretty funny. Meanwhile, if you had a bank account in Dubai, they're probably going to understand a lot better Middle East, North Africa transactions, and they're not going to look at you funny. You know, go to a lot of banks in the world and try and send money to Russia or to Ukraine, right? We had someone do some work for us once who had a Russian passport. Every single time we went to send them money from one of our business bank accounts, we had to answer some questions because they're very skittish about sending money to people who are Russians. The Russians, in many parts of the banking world, don't have the best reputation. However, if you have a bank account in Armenia or in Georgia, you know, sending money to Russia, to Ukraine is going to be a lot easier because they understand that. And so again, I'm not suggesting that you go out and lie to anybody about your source of funds. I'm suggesting that as the goody two-shoes of the offshore industry, you always keep things above board. But I do think that having a diverse portfolio of bank accounts gives you access to send money in different situations. And so I think having that varied profile can be very helpful, in addition to higher interest rates, in addition to any asset protection benefits. And again, if you can get a free residence or passport out of the deal, all the better. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.